Hello everyone, this is Mr. Dice again, and today's business bill is about cooperatives. What are they? Where we can find them? Why do they occur? And who benefits from them? And how do they actually take place? And how do they function? So let's start by underlining a very important thing that you will notice about cooperatives is that regardless if you go in a developed country or an underdeveloped country or a country in course of development, you might find this form of business everywhere. It's a very accessible one, and usually it doesn't require that many legal formalities to actually get established. And the ones that actually go in this form of business, that join or form this kind of organization, which is a cooperative, not necessarily need to have so much business knowledge. It's not like you need to have an MBA before you start any business. Of course, it really helps, but this one is more concerned about mutual benefit from a different angle that we've seen it right now. So, what is it? It is a business that is run jointly by its members which seek to have a mutual benefit. Okay? Up to this moment, and you might have seen in our previous videos when we talked about people associating to form a partnership or to form a joint venture, a business association between one business and another, or talking about private-public partnerships such as a state-owned or a governmental-owned company associating with a privately owned company for a mutual benefit. Now, but let's take it at a very simple level. Why would I associate with someone? So initially, I would do that so that I would compensate for the skills that I'm lacking, such as my future associate would be very good in accounting and legal, would have even legal knowledge and would be great in sales, and I would be great in I don't know, in tech. And I would be great in pricing strategy. So there you have it. We compensate for our skills and we make a better team this way because we associate it. And last but not least, let's not forget, since we're in the private sector, we got to do this for profit. Our purpose is to make profit. Yeah? Because we're in the private sector, we need not only to survive, but we need to thrive. We need to make it. We want to grow. We want to expand. So we're doing this for profit. This is what we initially known about what it defines mutual benefits. Now, it's slightly different in this area that it's focusing on cooperatives, or when it comes to cooperatives, because you mainly see cooperatives in agriculture and in retail. But we will focus today on agriculture so you can understand how the mutual benefit is at a much smaller scale. But it can have a huge impact on the members of that cooperative. So let's take the example that we are a farmer and we have our own land. And we look around and we have another 10 neighbors working the exact same land as we do. The surface of the parcels are very similar, and guess what? We are all selling or hoping to sell, as we cultivate over there, tomatoes. So, tomatoes. Now, what happens? We each need a tractor to actually be able to work our land. Yeah? We all need to buy seeds, which we will plant in order to have the tomatoes eventually. And last but not least, we all need to make a profit on our work. So this means that when we sell them, we become competitors and we have to still be profitable. Yes. So we still have to be profitable. Now, this is how you actually form a cooperative. Once you identify this, you go to your neighbors and say, listen, I need a tractor also. I don't have enough money to rent that tractor myself, but if the 10 of us each chip in with the same amount, we can afford to rent it for a week. And I'm going to use it on Monday on my parcel over here. You're going to use it on Tuesday, and so on and so forth. So this way everybody gets to benefit from that tractor. That would be step one. So here is redefining mutual benefit for a cooperative at a granular level in agriculture. Yeah? Then once the land is prepared, we need seeds. And we all know that if we go over there and represent a company or represent more people, when we talk with someone that is a supplier, they can give us a better price much quicker because we're buying in bulk. And this is one advantage of economies of scale. This is one advantage of being bigger, right? So I go there and I say, I don't need tomato seeds just for myself. I want to buy 10x, 20x, 30x because now I represent a cooperative and now I have members around me that do the same thing and we have a common voice. So we get better prices over there. And what you come to realize is that if you were to go by yourself, it would have been much more expensive. So now you can make much more profit because what was initially budgeted at a higher cost is now more affordable. So you benefit on this plan also. And last but not least, can you imagine getting those tomatoes and actually remaining profitable in a market in the same village where all your neighbors sell the exact same tomatoes, the exact same quality at the same price? What would you have to do to actually convince that client to buy the tomatoes from you? It will be a crazy competition. And not only that, in order to add some additional pressure on your shoulders, just to make sure that you understand the gravity of the situation, is you're selling a perishable good. And by perishable good, we mean if not refrigerated, tomatoes will just go rotten in about 3 days. So you have 3 days to sell your entire stock of tomatoes and still make a profit. It will create a price war, it can ruin friendships, it can transform people, but not in a very positive way. So instead, if you're joining a cooperative, which is commonly run by its members and represents the common voice of those members, what you can do is you can have one representative for the entire quantity selling in the name of everyone. And this is how you remove competition. This is how you make sure that everyone benefits of a fair price. This is how you make sure that everybody makes a profit. Okay, perhaps it will be a smaller profit, but it will be a high quality profit. A profit that you can repeat, a profit that might occur again. It won't be speculative. So you won't be in the speculative game for this. So last but not least, it is a very democratic way of running a basic business. Not a lot of legal formalities. It usually occurs because you want the mutual benefit. And a lot of people can benefit by associating under this form, especially as we have explained over here in agriculture. Now you share responsibilities and burdens. Of course, you're also going to share the profits. But the problem is with it that since you don't need a lot of business knowledge to qualify to join a cooperative, in fact, you need goodwill and perhaps to be in the same industry. It's sometimes this affects the decision-making process because you have to give everybody a vote. You have to give everybody a voice. So when this occurs, it can impact the decision-making process. And if you don't have specialists over there, sometimes some of the decisions you might make might not be so helpful for the entire cooperative. So it's very important to have someone over there at Cooperative that has some business knowledge so that mutual benefit can actually be ensured at multiple levels. It's one thing to get a hold of a more affordable tractor to work your land. That's great. It's superb to actually benefit of economies of scale and buy cheaper seeds in order to cultivate your tomatoes. That's superb. But if you don't have the right price in the right location, the needed quantity to break even, and some business knowledge in terms of sales and negotiations, you might not be able to make a profit. And if at the end of 1 year you end up working just because you saved some money at the tractor and at the seeds, and you make some good relationships, then that is not a business. You need to make a profit. You need to be profitable so that next year you're not thinking of changing your career, you're actually thinking how do you expand and how do you do the current business better. Thank you all for watching, and don't forget, if you have any business queries, just drop me a line and I'll help you pull it through.